So let's do some selected questions from exercise 3.7, which is optional. Um Optional as in these type of questions may be asked in the board exam, but they are little difficult. So after doing the whole chapter, you should at least try the optional exercise, because these questions are of the higher order thinking skills. So if you are prepared with these questions, that means your concept is extremely clear. So you must try the optional exercises, right? So I'm doing a few questions for your clarity. Question number 4 first. Word problem it is. The students of a class are made to stand in rows. If 3 students are extra in a row, there would be 1 row less. If 3 students are less in a row, there would be 2 rows more. Find the number of students in the class. So for solving this question, we have to first identify that what are the parameters. That means what actually needs to be found out. You have to find the number of students in the class, but they are not talking about number of students in the class. They are talking about number of students which are standing in a row and number of rows, right? So let's write our statement as, let the number of students in each row be x, and let the number of rows be y. So let the number of students in each row be x and let the number of rows be y. Therefore, total number of students. So just imagine that there are 5 students in each row and there are 4 rows like this. So how many students will be there? So 5 students in each row multiplied by number of rows, which is 4, so 20. 5 4s are 20. So total number of students here becomes x into y, that is xy. Right? Now see what is the condition. If 3 students are extra in a row, so if 3 students are extra in a row means case 1, x plus 3, there would be 1 row less. Number of rows जो y थे वो हो जाएंगे y minus 1. But if you multiply, you still get the same number of students, xy. So if you simplify this, this will become x bracket y minus 1 plus 3 bracket y minus 1 is equal to xy, or xy minus x plus 3y minus 3 is equal to xy. xy will get cut, and x minus 3y. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm changing the sign, or I'm shifting x to the other side. It will become plus x, plus 3y to other side will become minus 3y, and minus 3 will remain there only, so minus 3. This will be equation number 1. X minus 3y is equal to minus 3. Case 2. What is case 2? If 3 students are less in a row, there would be 2 more rows, so y plus 2. And again, if you multiply the number of students in each row multiplied by rows, you will get the total number of students. So x bracket y plus 2 minus 3 bracket y plus 2 is equal to xy. So xy plus 2x minus 3y minus 6 is equal to xy. Right? I open the bracket. Xy plus 2x minus 3y minus 6 is equal to xy. xy will get cut. 2x minus 3y is equal to 6. and that is your equation number 2. So this is how you solve this question. Let's take one more question. Now this question I'm going to take from question number 7, and I will solve this by the method of cross multiplication. This is going to be really interesting for you to see. Okay, I'll take one full page. Let's take, I have very limited number of pages left. All the stationery shops are closed, so I have to use my pages very carefully. Exercise 3.7, question number 7. Okay, let me try the, all looks interesting, but let me try the first one. If I do the difficult ones, then you guys will be disappointed that why did I try that. So I'm trying the easy ones. Px plus qy is equal to p minus q. I can always take up challenges, but it is your time to take the challenge. I can just help you out if you're not getting something. So this will be expressed in standard form as px plus qy minus of p minus q is equal to 0. Second is qx minus py is equal to p plus q. So it will become qx minus py minus of p plus q is equal to 0. So this will be equation number 1. This will be equation number 2. Now, if I want to solve this with the method of cross multiplication, I must know what is a1. a1 is p. What is b1? b1 is q. And what is c1? Minus of p minus q. And what is a2? a2 is q. b2 minus p, and c2 minus of p plus q. Okay, so I've got a1, b1, c1, a2, b2, c2. Let's apply cross multiplication method of cross multiplication. So the formula for cross multiplication was x upon b1 c2 minus b2 c1. I'm just having the formula sheet in front of me so I don't make any mistakes. Y upon c1 a2 minus c2 a1 is equal to 1 upon a1 b2 minus a2 b1. Okay, let us put the values. So x upon b1 c2. What is b1? q. c2 minus of p plus q. So q into minus of p plus q minus b2 c1 minus p C1 into B to C1 into minus of P minus Q is equal to Y upon C1 A2 minus of P minus Q C1 A2 into Q minus C2 A1. C2 is minus of P plus Q into A1 P is equal to 1 upon A1 B2 P into minus P minus A2 B1 Q into Q. Okay, so we have got the three fractions. Let's simplify them. So x the whole upon Q into minus P into minus Q. So this will become minus PQ, right? Minus Q square minus bracket minus P into minus P will be P square, and minus Q will become plus Q. Minus P into plus Q is minus PQ, right? Is equal to Y the whole upon minus P into Q is minus PQ, and plus Q into Q is plus Q square minus bracket minus P into P is minus P square, and minus Q into P is minus P is equal to 1 the whole upon minus P square minus Q square
Should I show you how I ate with chopsticks?
I will see later, okay? My recording is on. Very nice. Excellent.
उसका वो चालू कर दिया है लैपटॉप
Oh, let me take one.
उसको शर्ट भी पहनना है
शर्ट तो है ना.
Sorry for the disturbance. Let's go ahead. So x the whole upon minus PQ minus Q square minus P square and plus PQ, from which plus PQ minus PQ will get cut, is equal to y the whole upon minus PQ plus Q square plus P square plus PQ. Again plus PQ minus PQ will get cut, is equal to 1 upon minus P square minus Q square. Okay, let's equate the ratios first and third. So x is equal to minus Q square minus P square upon minus P square minus Q square. So I just equated, I just shifted this denominator here with 1. Okay, this will get cut and x is equal to 1. Similarly, y is equal to P square plus Q square upon minus P square minus Q square, which can be written as P square plus Q square the whole upon minus sign outside P square plus Q square. So this will become minus 1. So x is plus 1 and y is minus 1. So even if you don't have numbers, you don't need to worry. You can take the help of cross multiplication method and solve the equations. Let's see if there is anything else which I need to do for you. Yes, I can see one question. Okay, let's do the question number 5. This is really interesting. Okay, remember the method for this question which I am going to show you. This is really interesting question, and many students, they don't know the shortcut for solving this kind of questions, so this is going to be interesting. This is question number 7, sub question 5. 152x minus 378y is equal to minus 74, and minus 378x plus 152y is equal to minus 604. This is equation 1 and this is equation 2. Just look at the coefficients of x and y. They are huge. You solve by any method, so graphical method, practically impossible to solve this. See the numbers. Substitution method, very long, too many calculations. Equating coefficients, huge LCMs. Again, chances of making silly mistakes are huge. Cross multiplication, big calculations, you should avoid them. So how to solve such equations? Now in such equations, I would like to draw your attention to one pattern which you can see in this question. What is the coefficient of x here? 152. What is the coefficient of y in the second equation? Same, 152. Coefficient of x here, minus 378. Coefficient of y here, minus 378. So what is happening is, the pattern says us that the coefficients of x and y in both the equations are interchanged. They are the same but interchanged. And whenever you see such coefficients with which are interchanged with each other in both the equations, what you should do is, you should first add both the equations and then subtract both the equations and see what happens. So first is adding equations 1 and 2. Adding equations 1 and 2. What you will get? 152x minus 378y is equal to minus 74, plus minus 378x plus 152y is equal to minus 604. So when you add them, what you will get? Okay, here definitely you have to subtract 378 minus 152. So 8 minus 2 is 6, 7 minus 5 is 2, 3 minus 1 is 2, and this is minus 226x. Here also you will subtract. So this is again minus 378 plus 152 is minus 226y, and here you are going to add. So this will become 4 plus 4, 8, 7 plus 0 is 7, and 6 will come as it is, minus 678. Now 226 3s are 6 3s are 18, 3 2s are 6 plus 1 7, 3 2s are 6, 226 3s are 678. So if I take 226 common, minus 226, inside x minus 1 will, x minus y will be left. So x minus y is equal to minus 678 upon minus 226 and it will get cut and you will get 3. So x minus y is equal to 3 is your equation number 3. Okay, now next step, subtracting equations 1 and 2. So 152x minus 378y is equal to minus 74 minus 378x plus 152y is equal to minus 604. This will be plus, this will be minus, this will be plus. Okay. So 152 plus 378. 8 plus 2, 10. 5 plus 1, 6 plus 7, 13. 1 plus 1, 2 plus 3, 5. 530x. Minus 378 minus 152 will be minus 530y. And 604 minus 74. Now 604 minus 4 is 600. 600 minus 70 is 530. So if 530 comes out common, you will be left with x minus y is equal to 530. Right? So x minus y will be 530 upon 530, which is 1. So x minus, is there some mistake? Yes, there is some mistake. I took out minus 226 common, so inside left will be x plus y. Because I was wondering how come x minus y is 3 and x minus y is 1. So here it is x plus y is equal to 3 and x minus y is equal to 1. This is equation number 4. And now you can solve these two equations easily and get the value of x and y. So always remember the coefficients when they are interchanged and when they are large in number, you just add both the equations, subtract both the equations and get two simpler equations and then proceed to solve for x and y. So this was the whole chapter 3, linear equation in 2 variable. We have solved all the important questions and I think you should be able to solve the remaining questions by yourself, and I'll see you in the next video of the next chapter. Bye bye.